I want to play Fortnite. This part's a boss fight. Headset, baby. Is it my turn to play yet? Run! Oh, we lost again. You messed it up. Go left, not right. It was an accident.
It's okay, kids.
Yeah, GG.
Welcome back to another episode of the Gamer Parents Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm joined by my wonderful wife, Joanne.
Hello.
This is episode 122, and if you're new to the podcast, Joanne and I are a married couple. We have 2 kids, ages 4 and 6, and we like to talk about life and games. We are gamers who parent and parents who game.
Yeah.
And we've had a action-packed week
Oh, yeah.
to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of fun stuff, with and without kids.
Yeah, mostly with kids.
Mostly with. But yeah, let's start talking about this last week, shall we?
Yeah.
Started off with celebrating Mardi Gras.
I know, it's our first time ever to celebrate Mardi Gras. And it's because we have friends in the neighborhood from Louisiana.
Friends who celebrate it every year.
Yeah.
Unlike us.
Mm-hmm. And they actually went back there the weekend before this for the parade. And then they brought back some beads and some food, like specialty king cakes from a famous bakery in Louisiana, as well as some boudin. Is that how we say it? Boudin.
Yeah, so this is, if anyone's not familiar, it's much more celebrated in like Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And they had all the works, right? The king cake,
Yeah.
which is a special dessert, and a lot of other Cajun food.
Oh yeah, Cajun food.
And the beads and all kinds of stuff the kids could wear and play with and stuff.
Not just the kids, even the adults.
True. That is true. And the special thing about the king cake is that there's supposed to be a
Baby inside.
like
the
a
king
toy
cake.
baby.
Yeah, a toy baby,
inside.
obviously.
To clarify, a toy baby inside the king cake. And someone's supposed to get it, like when you cut up your pieces. I don't know. But not sure who ended up getting that. But that's just a unique thing.
Yeah, and supposedly it brings you good luck, I think. And whoever gets that baby, that toy baby, has to buy the next king cake.
Or so the tradition goes.
Yeah. So yeah, there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 families in total from our neighborhood who were invited to this. And it was so cool. They have a truck and they had it parked.
Yeah, I mean, like just on the driveway so that the kids could get in the back of the truck and then, throw the beads out.
Mm-hmm. Well, the original plan was for the parents to be in the back of the truck throwing the beads, because that's how the parade in Louisiana goes, where there's those like barrier by the roadside where all the crowd would like sit and stand, and then all the trucks that come by, they have like characters on the truck that throw beads and you're supposed to catch them. So we're trying to like replicate that. But the kids wanted to throw the beads this time instead of catching
and just
it.
be in the back of the truck.
I know. I guess they just
don't
like
normally get
being
to
in the
do
back.
that,
Yeah, in the back of the truck. So all the kids got up on the truck. I mean, it's a stationary truck. We're not driving around like a parade.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they threw it at us and we pretend to be like, woo, woo. Just, waving our arms, like cheering on them. And they throw the beads at us. And obviously we ran out of beads, so we gave it back to them so they can
Keep
re-throw
throwing
it.
them.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So it was a fun experience. She even cooked a lot of Cajun food, like gumbo, jambalaya,
Yep.
all homemade.
It was all delicious.
Yes, very, very much. So, yeah, a nice cultural experience.
Yep, so that was Mardi Gras.
And then since it's the spring break, this coming week that this episode airs, our son's school, elementary school, threw a spring party.
On Friday, it's like the last day of school before spring break.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it by grade, so we got to go also because parents were invited.
Yeah.
Right? And they had this party in the gym, and it wasn't really just like a normal party. They had a whole bunch of
Bouncy house.
yes, like
bouncy castle.
all like inflatable stuff, you know, like
the theme of this spring party, they change it every year. So the theme this year was inflatable houses or inflatable obstacle course and stuff. So they're all different. There's either like sports stuff or obstacle courses or giant slide. Or what is that thing that looks like the wrecking ball?
Yeah, there was like these kids could get on like these 4 platforms, and there was like this giant inflatable like wrecking ball thing that like they would hit or like push it around to try and hit each other off.
Yeah,
like,
I thought that was funny.
Dylan didn't get to do that, but that one looked kind of fun, but it had the longest line usually. And then they had like a bounce house or jump castle or whatever, and like tons of big slides and different sports ones, so you could like, you know, throw the football through the hole or, you know, shoot the basketball into the hoop, you know, but it's all inflatable stuff. And it was like basically an hour of like me just chasing Dylan around, like as he wanted to go back and forth through all of these different things.
Yeah, that's just one kid, not twins.
Yeah. Yep. And there was just tons of kids because it's like his whole grade and in this. And then the gym is pretty, you know, it's a gym. Gyms are usually pretty big, but all of the inflatable stuff takes up like most of the room.
Yeah. It was actually the gym and cafeteria combined. So.
Oh, okay. Because like even with like, yeah, with the lines of the kids like getting in line and everything, plus just like running around, like there wasn't like a ton of extra space.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids and a lot of stuff.
But they definitely have fun. What a way to end the last day of school before spring break.
Yeah, it went by fast. I know Dylan had a ton of fun.
I was exhausted.
Really cool. Yeah.
The same day of the spring party was our date night.
And before that, we had a date lunch.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, double dates.
Yeah.
But yeah, the date lunch, and then you work some, and then it's our date night.
Yep.
But let's jump to the date night since that's a bigger deal.
Yeah.
So as you guys know, if you've been listening, we are huge fans of Naruto, and that's a Japanese anime from quite a while ago, but it's so good that I think it's timeless.
I think so. Yeah.
Even like there were young kids at that place, and I'm so proud to see that it's of all ages, even like older people like us or even older than us were there enjoying it. So yeah, it's definitely timeless kind of anime, very motivational and inspirational. But anyways, you know that we like Naruto, and this thing that we went to was a Naruto symphonic experience, which is more like an orchestra mixed with Naruto on the screen above it.
Yeah. So going into it, it was like the Naruto Orchestra or whatever. I don't remember what they called it exactly, what you said, but I kind of thought you'd like watch them or listen to them playing all the songs from the show. Yeah. Like kind of just one by one. Kind of like a concert or something. Yeah. And that's not like at all what it was like, which I'm okay with. But it was basically like, I think the original show is like, I want to say something like 100 episodes. And
200.
Is it?
The first season, yeah. And then 500 for Shippuden.
Oh, okay. And they basically took like the original series and shortened it into like 2.5 hours. Yeah. Like worth of clips. And basically had all like the most important stuff.
Yeah, the key events.
All the key stuff from like the show. And they had the orchestra play the music for like that entire 2.5 hours.
Not just the music, even like some sound effects.
Yeah, some maybe. I don't really know, but they're pretty much playing music almost the entire time. And one thing about like Naruto in the show, I think the music is extremely well done. Yes. Like it's really good at evoking the emotions, right? Whether that's sadness or happiness or excitement or, you know, just loneliness, right? Even like the silly parts of the show. Yeah. Like it's so good at like, even if you just listened to the music, you would like kind of have a feel for the scene of what the mood is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a symphonic experience because you get to enjoy the music live while watching the show. And I love that the show was in Japanese because it kind of seemed more authentic that way.
Yeah, I want to say most people watch it in Japanese. Well, I don't know if that's the case. It could just be in the small sample size that I'm using to say that. And I always watched them in Japanese.
Even before me?
Yeah.
Oh,
For Naruto, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think it depends some on the anime, but that one, yeah, I always watched in Japanese because they were further ahead, like English was way further behind.
Yeah.
Which is probably the main reason. But also, I think it just kind of sounds better.
Yeah. I don't know, like, how you were listening to the whole symphonic experience. Were you, like, reading the subtitles and trying to understand what's going on while listening to the music, or you're just enjoying the music?
Yeah, I mean, since I've, like, seen it all before, like, I kind of know, like, what they're saying and, like, what's going on in that part of the show.
That's true.
But I still would get distracted and like I would just watch the screen with the show and stuff instead of like watching the musicians. But I kind of wanted to like watch the musicians more to like get a feel or get a sense of the live music, Yeah. Because it's really easy to like not pay attention to them and then just think you're listening to like the recorded music.
Yeah, and I think
it sounds so good.
That's true. But I thought they did it. I mean, it's not exactly like the full-blown orchestra, I would say. They had the key important instruments, obviously. Like they had piano. They even had electric guitars. They had obviously the drums and the sound effects.
The drums guy was busy like the whole time.
I know.
Pounding away on the drums because they use a lot of that in a lot of the Naruto music. Mm-hmm. But they also had like a guy on a trombone, and I think they probably had like trumpets.
Yeah, trumpets and cello and saxophone. I remember there's a saxophone and a flute or some kind of wind
recorder or something.
Yeah. I
think I saw her switching between the recorder and the flute.
Like the wind person. But I thought they did it really good. They had a violins obviously as well. But yeah, that was like a very unique date night. I don't think we've ever been to an orchestra. I mean, we've been to a string quartet kind of thing a couple years ago, but never like a full orchestra thing because you're not into classical music. And this one is like a good mixture between what we like, right? So
yeah, I think there's probably very few things that I would like to see in this style, and Naruto is one of those.
Yeah.
So it was still a lot of fun. Very much enjoyed it.
Yes. So like I said, the crowd was of all ages, and that was kind of cool to see that Naruto lives on in the younger generation, including our kids in the future.
Yep.
I'm hoping they do a Shippuden version, but I know Shippuden is like way longer, and maybe if they just do the key parts of the music based on the music and show that should be okay. But otherwise, I can't imagine them doing the exact same style, like from the start of Shippuden to the end.
Yeah.
It was a good recap, though. Kind of reminded me of the Naruto game that we have on the PS5,
Yeah,
where they
similar thing where like it just goes through all the key parts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good date. I shared like some pictures and just one video. I think I shared because I didn't know. I don't think we're supposed to take any recording of it, but I just wanted to share. It's on our Instagram. Definitely check it out. Don't forget to like and comment.
And then after our Naruto date, this last weekend we celebrated Holi.
Yeah, Holi. It is the festival of colors. It's a Hindu festival of colors. I don't have the full facts on Holi, but I know there's a lot of colored sand or colored powder being thrown around, and there's water splashing, and I know it's to welcome spring, kind of like blessing the harvest, something like that for spring. And since we had Indian neighbors as well, so we had Mardi Gras from Louisiana, and now our Indian neighbors want to introduce Holi, the festival of Holi, to us as well. So yeah, it was a neighborhood event again.
It was a very diverse week
yes.
here. Yep.
Yes. And we're so lucky we got a variety of friends in our
We
neighborhood.
do. We have really great neighbors here
Yeah.
that like to celebrate with us,
I
and
know.
we got to experience Holi for the first time, and same with our kids.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of colors all over us,
Yes.
which was fun and like something we've never done before.
Yeah, it's a colorful thing, that's for sure. And it's actually on March 14th, if I'm not mistaken, but we celebrated it earlier because, spring break, families are going away. So we wanted to make sure our friends all get to participate. But yeah, that's about all the crazy, busy events that we were doing with our friends and between you and me.
Yeah.
And at home, we also like to talk about what we watch. And you know how culture is so important. So the same goes for pop culture in our house. And we introduce for the first time to our kids. They know Marvel as in Captain America and...
They know like the Avengers.
the Avengers.
And maybe a few of like the bad guys there. But they don't really know like any of like the X-Men side of Marvel. And I forget why we even watched that.
Well, I just want to take a walk down memory lane, and I grew up on X-Men and I miss X-Men, and it's been a long, long time. I think almost like a quarter century since the first X-Men came out. So
yeah, something like that. I remember I asked, we were like talking about it or thinking about it, and I asked Dylan, like, do you know who Wolverine is?
Yeah.
And he was like, no.
I know, right?
And I was like, okay, well, we got to fix that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we watched X-Men and X2.
Yep.
And this is like with the original characters, the old version. We haven't seen the younger version of Magneto and Professor X yet, that new version.
Yeah.
So
it's not really new anymore, but
yeah,
like
I'm just saying.
literally the first two like live action X-Men movies that were like, I forget, earlier mid 2000s.
Mm-hmm. What was Dylan's favorite again? I know Faith is like me. She likes Magneto's team. She's like they're fighting to protect themselves. They're not bad. And then Dylan is like, oh, I like Wolverine and Professor X.
I thought he said he liked Cyclops.
Oh yeah, and Cyclops,
who I used to like when I was a kid.
Yeah, but it's so cute to watch them get exposed to X-Men. And you know how like the weather in Texas here goes crazy sometimes? And I'm like, okay, who's in charge of changing this weather? Do you remember who's causing all these clouds? And then they go like, Storm! Yeah, Storm's pretty cool. She was one of my favorite growing up, but then I became practical. Now I just like Mystique.
Mm-hmm.
That's practical.
So anyways, the X-Men movies, I think, were a hit with our kids.
Yes.
They did okay watching them. A couple of somewhat scary parts, but other than that, they were okay.
Yeah. Oh, and remember when we went to the park, Dylan put like
twigs
in between
his fingers. And said he was Wolverine.
Yeah. I think we all did that as kids, like pretending to
at least once or twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another movie that we watched this last week was we've been trying to watch more of the Pokemon movies. So we watched the Pokemon the third movie, which is the one with Entei and all of the unknown.
I know.
Or like different alphabet Pokemon that like fly around and they're very mysterious.
Unknown. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and it's the one where like Entei meets this little girl and like basically tries to make her wishes come true and ends up taking Ash's mom away from him to be her mom. And so like they have to rescue her and all this stuff. And Entei's super powerful and everything works out because it's a Pokemon movie. But yeah, it was that one. So I don't know how many more Pokemon movies there are, but we've kind of gotten to the point where like we've watched all the ones that I watched as a kid, and then like I stopped being as interested in Pokemon when I got to a certain age. So like I didn't watch all the movies probably after this one. So we're kind of at the point now where anything after this would probably be new to me too.
That's fun. And that is a good segue to our gaming since we're talking about Pokemon.
Yes. So as we've been talking about the last many, many weeks, we are also playing Pokemon Pocket.
Yeah.
And I have continued to play it. And I know last week, we talked about the new Arceus pack.
Uh-huh.
And it's fairly small. It's like 75 cards in this set. And I think we're at like close to 70 of the cards that we have collected. And Dylan has continued to be interested in the game and opening up a lot of my packs for me and that kind of stuff and helping me with battles, that he wanted to download it on
the iPad.
Yep, on our iPad, which we let him do. And so now he's getting his own packs every day and, put together his first deck, which I helped him do.
Yeah.
And the whole reason that he wanted to download it was he wanted to do battles against me.
Aww.
In versus mode, right? So he just started. He doesn't have very many cards, so his first deck was not very good. So I just picked one of my not very good decks, and we did versus battle together, and he did pretty good. I had to go like maybe a little bit easy on him, but he still beat me, and so he beat me twice actually, and he was very happy about that. He was very excited to beat his dad for the first time in that game.
Yeah. No, it's really cool to see you guys bond over it too. Like, he's constantly asking your opinions and stuff on the Pokemon strategy and the deck creations. So I know he wanted to build a lightning deck earlier and he just didn't have enough.
Yeah. He was wanting to do that, and I was looking at his cards and I was like, you have like 3 lightning cards, not enough to
build a whole deck.
Make a deck around that yet. So he had a bunch of grass cards, so we made him a grass deck, and then figured we'd come back to the rest. And he's been getting like so excited when he gets like a really good card on his own account, as opposed to like when he'd get it on my account, right? Because it's like, I got you this really nice card, like you're welcome. But like when he would get it, it seemed like he would be way more excited.
And he is obsessed with Pokemon to the point where when he wakes up in the morning and the first thing he wants to do is draw a Pokemon on a paper. And then he did draw a Bulbasaur.
Which turned out pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it turned out good because he was just looking at a picture and then drawing it by himself. It's not like there's a step by step.
Yeah.
So, I applaud him for it. And it's up on his wall in his room. Apparently, he got sick of his room decals, which were there since he was a baby, and he wants to replace it with...
before he was born, I think.
I know, yeah. Before he was born, and he wanted to replace those with his Pokemon drawings, because I haven't got him Pokemon decals. But I think that's a good initiative that he's doing it himself, so I might wait on getting him those decals instead.
Yeah, see if he wants to draw more. I think that's a good way for him to spend some time.
Yeah.
And we're still doing Pokemon of the Day, he and I.
I know. When are you guys going to run out of Pokemons?
Well, there's like 9 generations out. I think soon to be 10. And we're almost done with 2nd generation.
Ah, okay.
So we still have a long ways to go.
That's crazy.
We're probably about 225 Pokemon in out of like 1,000.
Wow.
The Pokemon of the day today is Magcargo, by the way. If anyone's interested, it's the evolution of Slugma. It's like a fire slug, fire snail, guys.
Okay.
But yeah, I was going to show them to Dylan earlier.
Maybe after you finish all the generations, then he'll learn it all in Japanese, because the names are very different in Japanese.
Oh, I'll let you handle the Japanese ones then.
Okay.
But it's still going to take like 3 years to go through all the Pokemon of the day.
I know, right?
That's if we don't miss any days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we also got to stream Fortnite.
Yes.
This last Tuesday, which was a lot of fun.
And we played it again after that.
Did we? Oh, I guess we did.
Yeah.
We played 2 nights this week. I forgot about that. Yeah. I don't think I have anything different to say about it than when we talked about it last week.
Yep. It's just fun to play together.
Yeah, it's been fun. And then the only other game that I'm still playing is Marvel Snap, of course.
Of course.
I probably increased how much I'm playing Marvel Snap this last week compared to prior weeks because of that new game mode, which is called Sanctum Showdown. And they also, since this last week, they released a new card, which is Agamotto, I think is how you pronounce it. But he's like this, powerful wizard guy that kind of seems like Doctor Strange-ish. And the way he works is he puts like 4 really good spells into your deck at the beginning of the game, and if you draw them, you can use them, and they're really good.
I remember Hearthstone having a card like that.
Yeah, and I like cards like that like generate more cards for you to use. There's some kind of like randomness to that a little bit, just like not knowing which ones you're going to draw. And so I've been using a new deck, like actually 2 new decks around that card, which has been fun, plus the new game mode. And I played it enough that I was able to unlock 3 new cards through the mode. So, and it's only on for like another day or so. So we're almost done with it. I think I got most of the things out of it that I want, and I've been having fun with it. So that's good. It's at not the best I've ever had with Marvel Snap, but definitely better than how it's felt the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got the Battle Pass this month.
Oh, you did.
FYI. So I did not last month, but I did this month.
Okay. It's a new month.
Yeah.
It's a new day. But that's it for live and gaming updates. Let's move on to the new game releases, shall we?
Yep. So new games out this week. We have Fragpunk on PC and Xbox Series X. Slime Heroes on PC and Xbox Series X. Sorry We're Closed on all consoles. Split Fiction on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunen Unification Wars. That's a long title.
I know.
On PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Rise of the Ronin on PC. Wanderstop on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. And that is it for new games this last week. Sorry We're Closed has a unique title. I'm kind of curious of what that is about.
But I know I'm looking forward to Split Fiction.
Yes, I want to play Split Fiction with you.
Yeah.
Which is a game that I've been talking about with you, not so much online or on the podcast, but it is made by the same developers as
It Takes Two.
So It Takes Two, which we really liked, and that other one where you're in prison and have to escape.
Oh yeah.
And I forget the name. I forget the name of that game.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one as much as It Takes Two. It Takes Two was a great game. And
I feel like I want to play It Takes Two again with you one day.
You could. I think we play this one first because this one's probably going to be even better, I hope. But it's basically these 2 writers get, I think, like sucked into this virtual reality game made from their books, their novels. And like one is a fantasy fiction writer, and then the other one is like a sci-fi fiction writer, right? So you go through like these different worlds of fantasy and sci-fi, which is really cool. And it also begs the question of what you like more, sci-fi or fantasy. What would you say? Do you like fantasy more or sci-fi more?
Fantasy for me.
Okay, I think I like sci-fi more.
Yeah,
so I'll say
perfect.
That one. Yeah, so now we know what characters we're going to pick.
Yes.
And I'm curious, if you're listening to this, what do you like more? Sci-fi or fantasy? When it comes to movies or video games, what genre do you prefer? Let us know in the comments. Or do you just reach out to us? Share it in Discord or whatever. With that said, Joanne, can you give us the new Game Pass games this week?
Yes. New on Game Pass is Monster Train on console, PC, and cloud. Galacticare on Xbox Game Pass Standard. One Lonely Outpost on console, PC, and cloud. And Enter the Gungeon on console, PC, and cloud.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Joanne. Well, let's run through where people can find us. Over on YouTube, you can find our channel, the Gamer Parents Podcast, where we post audio versions of every single episode.
Or you can find us on Instagram at gamer_parents_podcasts, where we share funny stories that are relatable to parenting and gaming, as well as posts of our daily lives.
You can also check out our Twitch channel, where we live stream every Tuesday night at around 9 or 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is over at twitch.tv/gamerparentspod or over on X, formerly known as Twitter. And you can follow us there at x.com/gamerparentspod.
The best way to find us is on our Discord channel,
where we talk about life and games all throughout the week. That one?
Yes, that one.
And the link for that is in the podcast episode description.
But that is it for episode 122. We will catch you in the next one.
Bye.